Whoa! Look at that!
This is a big fish.
Oh my God!
Oh yeah, muskies. One of the most prized freshwater trophy game fish, and also one of the most frustrating and difficult fish to catch. Known as the fish of 10,000 casts, because of their unwillingness to cooperate with anglers, grown men have been known to wear out their arms and backs, chucking big lures over and over again in hopes of that one explosive strike. Over my lifetime, I've spent countless hours chasing elusive muskies, and if there's one thing I do know for sure, it's that there's very few hard and fast rules. Bottom line is, you don't fish for muskies, you hunt them first. Work with patterns that have been effective on a given body of water at various times of the year, and never be shy to experiment outside the box. For several years, I'd heard about a muskie guide on Lake St. Clair who's honed down a perfectly unique trolling pattern that I'd never heard of before. And today, because I strongly feel that it has great application there and everywhere, I thought I'd introduce you to him and let him show you how it's done.
Captain Steve Jones. Live right here on Lake St. Clair and made my living here for 40 years now. Mostly guiding muskies, but we guide all species, including some Lake Michigan salmon fishing.
Within a 40-year career of professional fishing, Captain Steve Jones has pioneered many of the Lake St. Clair muskie techniques being used today. Lately, he's been experimenting and finding huge success trolling large crankbaits, spinners, and plugs.
We're going to fish 12 to 15 feet of water, basically. The muskies are just kind of cruising around looking for food here, and they're starting to feel pretty good. Everything's warming up, and we get our line set up and see what we can do here. We're going to fish pretty much high in the water column, the top couple 3 feet for the most part.
But the key is running them off planer boards or in the prop wash at a quick pace of up to 5 miles an hour.
We're going to put this little perch imitation lure out here. We're going to start, just want to get a quick line in the water right now. There just might be a muskie around, and we don't want to lose that opportunity. Just going to get this line in the water real quick, and then we'll work on getting our other lines out. I'm going to run this close to the boat, just about 12, 15 feet back.
This is called a planar board, and what this does is when you put it under the water, both on the port and the starboard side, goes out alongside the boat and enables us to get more lines out than you might expect. We'll be fishing 8 lines in Canada today, and you'll see how these go out, and we'll put lines on this setup here. We're going to get these out probably about 40 feet or so. They'll be off the stern of the boat. Okay, and you can see I'm letting the line out now, and as this line goes out, the planer board gets further and further away from the boat.
When we're trolling for muskies, we don't use a wire leader. A lot of people are amazed by that. What we use is either a monofilament or a fluorocarbon leader. I think a mono is just as good as the fluorocarbon. I don't think the visibility of the leader really means anything to the muskies. Sometimes the more they can see, I think the more they get excited. We just use a typical snap swivel on the main line. We put a drop sinker on it, and the reason why we use this is if it's not a diving style plug, this will help just keep the bait down, keep it in the water. Just in the last few years, we've started fishing a lot of bucktails. The reason why we're fishing them more in the last few years now than we ever used to is because the zebra mussels that are in the Great Lakes have cleared the water up quite a bit. Whereas before we had a more stained water, off-color water, where visibility was only a couple of feet. Now we have real clear water at times, and the bucktails have really gotten hot. The muskies like to cruise high out here. We'll just run this a couple feet below the surface.
We're now putting the starboard planer board in, and that will go back about as far as it is on the port side.
This is a planer board release. We've got our planer board out. This is a saltwater, heavy tension release. And we're going to hook our line. This is that bucktail that we put out there. And we're going to send this out to the end of the board. Get it in a nice spread over the water that way, covering a lot of water. It's a nice big bucktail. There's something to be said for big lures, big fish. Not always, but we always want to have a small offering out for the muskies and always want to have a big offering out. Ah, geez, look at this here. Fish hit right in that prop wash there.
Yep.
It's about 6, 7 feet behind the boat. Out here, we're fishing the Great Lakes Muskie, which is the spotted variety of muskies. It's basically an open water. Having such a large body of water, they will use it. They will migrate considerably and they'll roam around, unlike some inland muskies might do. That are going to hold more to and be a little bit territorial at times. Be really careful here, these guys, all those treble hooks hanging. Yeah, this is Great Lakes Muskie, true Great Lakes Muskie. They're natural here. They've never planted any fish here. Once in a while, we'll get a rare hybrid out of here, which is usually a natural result. And once in a while, we'll get a silver or a clear. But 99.9% of our muskies are the spotted Great Lakes fish. As they get older, the spots sometimes develop into faint bars, but the younger fish usually here are usually spotted. But pretty fish. Probably about a 32-inch fish. Small muskie, but every muskie's a nice muskie. There she goes.
Continuing now on good fishing, Captain Steve Jones has dialed in a trolling technique for catching Lake St. Clair muskies.
Now, one thing what's really fun when we're trolling for muskies, especially, we call this muskies on a short line. We've only got 5 to 15 feet of line behind the boat at these lures as these fish come up to the boat to look for those lures. We're just fishing that far behind the boat, and those muskies will come up and look at that lure, and they'll follow it for a ways. It's as if you were casting. So what you want to do if you see a muskie following, release that clutch and let that line out quickly, and it'll appear like it's diving for the bottom, and that muskie think it's getting away, and he'll try to grab it hopefully and hit it while it's in your hand. And that's a lot of fun. You'll get a lot of extra fish that way. Fish on. Well, take it, Len. Take the fish. Take the fish. Okay, Len. Just keep that rod bent. Don't let him get a chance to spit the hook out there. Good fish. We haven't seen him yet, and he's doing kind of what he wants to do right now. Oh, it's a real good
there's
fish.
a run.
Yes, it is.
Not bad. A little larger than average, maybe.
So the muskies we're trolling 4 to 5 miles an hour. When the water's a little bit colder and when the season first opens up, they're in their post-spawn. We'll slow down a little bit. Speed is a real trigger for the fish.
Here he comes. Off the back here, Steve, you want him?
Well, okay, look there. Just lead him to me and raise your rod tip right up. Lead him to the net here. All right, good job.
That is a nice fish. It's a little bigger than average, maybe, and caught him on a fire tiger tough shad.
Yeah, about a 36, 37-inch muskie. A typical average muskie for Lake St. Clair. You hit just about probably 3 or 4 feet below the surface on that fire tiger bait. That came out pretty good here. What we've got to do now is let's get our rod set up and we'll go take another pass through there.
Lake St. Clair is about 25 miles north to south by 20 miles across. It's halfway between Lake Huron and Lake Erie. The St. Clair River connects Lake Huron to Lake St. Clair, and there's a large delta system here where the St. Clair River is braided out into a bunch of channels.
Fish. It's a really good fish. He took it right next to the prop there.
Yep.
Staying down pretty good there right now. Pretty good fish. It's not a real big fish, but it's a good muskie. This is right the exact same spot we had 2 good fish on earlier. 14, 15-pound muskie. Hooked right on the side there. When she jumped, she pulled that front hook there. Okay, now you want to move in with the net here?
Yeah, okay. Okay, raise it up and to me.
We call that's on that Ziggy St. Lawrence. We had that on a down rod. We had a little bit of weight right to it, and the weight was only 5 or 6 feet behind the boat. The lure was a total of about 8 or 9 feet behind the boat. Fish came right up alongside the wash. We got some rough, murkier water here now through the day as the wind's been blowing. And they came right up into the boat looking for this here.
Lake St. Clair always supported a robust muskie population, and that's because the habitat here is good for muskie. You have cool water but not cold water. We have lots of forage for muskie. We have aquatic vegetation that they spawn on, so they have really a lot of spawning area, and then also spawning area out down in the Detroit River as well. So the population is able to sustain itself.
Muskie, Len, grab it. Every muskie is a nice muskie. It's a decent fish, an average muskie.
Yep.
Yeah, it's, right now they're hitting the boat rods. We've got this, you know, rough, milky water, and they're coming in to the wash of the prop, looking for bait fish, and they're finding our lures. They're grabbing it. It's been all boat rods today, pretty much.
Here he comes.
Watch that prop there.
Yep.
That's not a bad fish. That's gonna be our better fish today.
That is pretty good.
Better fish than we thought it was. There you go. A little beat up from spawning. Fish have just come out of their post-spawn in the last week or so, and that's what those bruises are. Ready to go back? There she goes. Good release, congratulations. Nice muskie. Hey, hit the bow rod again right alongside the wash there. It's been our hot one, especially since the wind had come up. And we're using a St Clair, I think it's a 6'3" musky rod with the Cabela's line counter reel with a clicker, so we know when the fish hit. And just 30-pound test line for trolling, 30-pound mono. We got a nice fish on right here right now. It's a real nice fish. I hardly seen him yet. He's bulldogging it and staying down. It's pretty nice rods for this. We use these short rods for our boat rods, and then the 7 and 9 footers for boat rods, as well as our planar board rods. This fish is over 40 inches right here.
My hat's off to Captain Steve Jones for sharing his surefire system to catch these Lake St. Clair muskies. And unless I miss my guess, I think this is a pattern that will be hugely effective for all you muskie fishermen in whatever waters you fish.
Nice fish. Nice fish. Best fish of the day so far.
Yeah.
All right, nice job. Hold that net. Okay, you got her.
So for those of you interested in booking a trip with him, here's how you can reach him. Besides muskie, he also specializes in Great Lake salmon, brown trout, and many other species in the Detroit River and Lake St. Clair. So I can't encourage you enough to pick up the phone and give him a call today.
There we go. There's a nice fish. Nice 41-inch muskie right there. What I love about the muskies is their lack of fear. They're coming right up close to the boat. This fish hit about 8 feet behind the boat, right alongside the wash of the prop there, and he hit it like a freight train. And that's what I love about the muskies. And they have a real peculiar personality, having no fear. Let's get this guy back.
Also, a special thanks to the Concord Inn in Clinton Township, Michigan. When you're in the area, you'll find clean, comfortable accommodations with fantastic food and service, just like our crew did during their stay. You know, midsummer can be a difficult time to catch walleyes, but wherever you are, first things first. You have to narrow down where the fish are located before determining the best way to go about catching them. And that's exactly what good friend and pro staffer Wayne Enger sought to do last July on a typical Minnesota walleye lake.
Time to start fishing.
One great way to cover a lot of water quickly in order to locate active fish is by trolling bottom bouncers or drop shot rigs with spinners or crankbaits. Basically, just start in the key summer walleye holding areas such as along deep weed edges, shoreline or mid-lake feeding flats, or any classic point and inside turns. Just lower down, pick an appropriate boat speed to give proper action to the bait, and move along, making sure to maintain bottom contact at least every once in a while.
Oh, bite, bite, bite. Oh, there we go. Dave and I got one.
All right. Definitely a netter.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a netter.
Oh, that's a nice fish. Nice.
Not bad. That's a pretty nice fish. Not bad at all. Time to catch some more though.
What I like to do with these drop shot modification rig is just be off the bottom with that sinker. And every once in a while you just want to be able to touch it. And so then you know exactly that you're off the bottom about a foot. Notice how I'm bouncing that weight off the bottom? Just bring it up a little bit, drop it down, and you can feel the bottom, you get some slack in your line. Then when you go a little deeper, you just have to give a little bit more line. You got slack there, that means you touch the bottom, just bring it up. You do that every once in a while.
Steve, got another one.
All right, Wayne.
I don't think it's much though.
Hey, let me know if you need the net.
No, we're good.
In a nutshell, that's really all it takes. On spinners, you can choose between crawlers, leeches, or minnows, and of course with crankbaits, you'll need to run a little bit faster. Now, once you do locate some active fish and the sun starts to get a little lower on the horizon, setting up for an evening slip bobber presentation can be a great way to capitalize during the prime time for walleyes.
We're at about 14 feet, and we want to throw up into the shallower water. There's a weed bed right along the edge, and we want to make sure that those fish that are in the weed beds come up and have a shot at it.
Wayne, I think I got one on. Got him.
Cool.
Yep.
That wasn't too long of a wait.
Not too long.
Got a baby?
That's a small one.
Oh,
Nice
eater.
Minnesota walleye. That's
Good
an eater.
That's what we needed. I'm hungry for walleye.
I am too.
Good fish for the fish fry tonight. Looking forward to it. Oh, guess what, Steve?
What?
I think it's my turn. Bobber down, slow, slow, slow. Just never ending. And I love it. Well, he's got a little, take a little drag too. That's good. I'll back up here. Oh, nice fish.
That's a nice fish.
Another eater.
Nice fish. Oh, Wayne, I got another one. This is a little nicer fish. Rod's bending a little bit more. Yeah, this might be a netter. There's a bobber stop.
A
Bobber.
See.
A little bit of
Oh,
a
nice fish.
That's a nice fish.
I think there's another one for the live well. This is just, yeah, this is too fun.
You know, for me, the fun and challenge of fishing over my lifetime has been trying to figure out what the fish are doing, why and where, and how best to get them to bite. Whether you're trolling drop shots and spinner rigs for walleyes, trolling 5 feet behind the prop waiting for a muskie to ambush a big bait, or pitching slip bobbers for evening walleyes, there's never a shortage of ways to go about catching fish. For me, no matter the species or the place, pattern fishing answers all. Begin by narrowing down fish locations by considering every determining factor you can come up with. Then experiment with every tool and technique imaginable to assist you in catching as many fish as possible. Just look for the best possible pattern going on the day that you're out fishing. Hey, trust me, by doing so you can learn to catch any kind of fish on any body of water on any given day. All it takes is some studying and a whole lot of perfect practice. I've been preaching it for years. I'm Babe Winkelman. Thanks so much for watching today, and till next time, everybody, hey, good fishing.